Moving along now, we're moving into the state senate. We have two different state senate races that are being contested. District 6 with Sam Cataldo and Dick Green, and District 7 with Bill Grimm and Josh Youssef. We'll start with District 6 and Sam Cataldo.
Before I start, good evening, everyone. Before I start, and I normally start by doing this, I'm an Air Force veteran, and I want all veterans to stand up, please, and be recognized. And thank you for your service. I am State Representative Sam Cataldo, member of the Science and Technology Committee, and I'm its clerk. I have a diversified background in engineering, technology, and business. Let's go back to 1960. I worked in the Apollo program and the Mariner. From there, I went to Raytheon as a technical writer. And after that, I became a cemetery superintendent, and I started my own business restaurant, 187 people capacity. And then I went into the nuclear field as a consultant, project manager, ship supervisor. The ship supervisor is very unique, by the way. That was Oyster Creek and 3 Mile Island. I worked at both plants as a contractor. 3 of us were picked out of the entire country to work as a ship supervisor. One of the nice things about that company is my wife worked with me. She was actually a senior health physics technician, and when I went on shift, she went on shift. After spending 23 years in the nuclear field, I took a year off. Went back to school again for computers. Started teaching computers nights, different companies during the day, and after that, I got the bug. I retired, and for $100 a year, I ran for state rep. I'm finishing my 6th term up there, and if there's any questions, please be my guest. Like I said, engineering, technology, you name it. One of the things, again, in my committee, we talked about Northern Pass. We also did, smart meters is a very important thing, by the way. A smart meter, if a company comes up to you and said they want to put the smart meter in, we had it in our bill. We said, you can opt out of it. You can say no. What it'll do is this. It'll turn around and measure everything in your house, all the electricity, they even know when you get TV on, when your microwave is on. At the same time, you get 15 seconds. At the same time, you can opt out of it. You say, no, you don't want that meter there. And that's what we did in our committee. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you, Sam.
15
Want to stay up here? Oh, no, that's right. No, actually, why don't you stay up here? But now we'll have your opponent here, Dick Green, and then we'll do the question for both of you.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here and join you. My name is Dick Green, and I'm from Rochester, New Hampshire, born and brought up in Rochester. So I'm a New Hampshireite for sure. I have experience doing many things in my life, but I'm going to just touch on a couple. First of all, I have been a state senator before. I've served 3 terms. I served in the early 1970s, and I served in 2003 through 2006. While I was in the state senate and at those 3 terms, I was chairman of the Finance Committee. I've been chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. I've been a member of the Education Committee, and you go on and on and on. I know if you're a senator, there are only 24 of you, so you get many committee assignments to work on. So I've had a great deal of experience in dealing with many different issues. I've also been a small business operator. I owned a publishing company, and I ran that for 20 years. Then I became a mayor of my city. Rochester is a city of about 30,000 people. They elect a mayor every 2 years. I served 5 consecutive terms, and as mayor, many of you can check my record while I was mayor of that community. We took that community at the beginning, which actually was broke, had no credit rating, and we brought it back to life. I hope that you people who know anything about Rochester have had a chance to go to Rochester recently. It's a much different community, and I'm very proud of that. I basically served, when I was serving, I actually got a couple of awards which I'm very proud of. One is I received from the Rotary Club, and I don't know if there's Rotarians in here, the Paul Harris Award, and you know what that is. And also, when I was involved as a city person, I also got from the New U.S. News and World Report I was selected as one of the top 20 mayors in the country, which was a very, very interesting award. I didn't know it was coming, but I was very happy to receive it. I'm running now because basically I want to maintain the conservative agenda that the current legislature is trying to fulfill. And it's a tough agenda, and we're going to have a tough election this fall. And Sam and I, by the way, have been friends. This is not a contest for enemies. We're having fun, and hopefully the best man will win, and I will support him if he wins, and I hope he'll support me if I win. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Dick, why don't you stay up here? Dick, why don't you stay up here? I've got one question that's been written out. Are there any other questions that have been written out for Sam and Dick? Okay. Well, it's got to be in writing so that then we'll select it. So, okay. Well, here's the question for both of you, and you'll each get 2 minutes to answer this. We'll start with Sam, and then we'll go with Dick. Do you support Northern Pass? So, Sam?
Very good question, by the way. That came to the committee that I sit in, and as its clerk, I'm going to try to make it very simple. We had that meeting in the Representatives Hall. There was over 250 people that day, and as its clerk, I have to write everything down to when people speak. Northern Pass, I'm going to give you a very good answer. We killed that bill. And the reason we killed it because back in 2006, we passed a constitutional amendment. Remember what happened in Connecticut? They didn't have a constitution. The Supreme Court came in and said, you shall take that man's property. And by the way, today, they still haven't taken that property. We, in 2006, November 7th, we passed it in New Hampshire. It went to the people, and we have today a constitution that you cannot take that person's property by eminent domain. When it came to the committee, one of the things I had said, and I'll repeat it again, as it's clerk, I will lay on the ground, and I want every one of you to be with me, so they don't turn around and bulldoze these people's homes down and take their property by eminent domain. And that's what I mean. You don't take their property.
Let me just touch on the property rights issue, because that's what this is about. I support bringing new energy to New Hampshire. I want you to know that. There's not no question. In my role as Economic Development Director, one of the issues was always the cost and availability of energy. But the eminent domain issue is an issue where I was involved in the Senate. If you go to the Constitution on 12A, we actually passed the particular amendment to the Constitution at that time. I also was the prime sponsor of a bill that dealt with eminent domain, which was in response to Kelo versus New London, which the Supreme Court of the United States said it was okay for developers to take land by eminent domain. We really quickly turned that around in New Hampshire. We changed the statute so it was very clear that you could not use eminent domain for private development. It's only for public development. Public service is not a public company. It's publicly regulated. It is a private company, and thus the constitutional amendment applies, and the current statute for the University of New Hampshire is in play. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Sam and Dick. Very good.
Thank you.
GrokTV.